Hey, good morning, guys. It's Donald and Mary, and we're here to bring you your morning weather, water, and trail chatter report. So, Mary's going to start with the water and weather, and after I have some information about things going on around the world and the hiking world. All right, go ahead, Mary.
Thank you, Donald. All right, good morning, everybody. Right now in Blairsville, it is 69 degrees and cloudy. Today we're looking at a high of 86 with cloudy early and peaks of sunshine expected late this afternoon. There is a possibility of a stray shower or thunderstorm. Then tonight, 61 degrees, mostly clear. Winds are going to be light and variable today and tonight. On Blood Mountain today, 77 degrees, patchy fog before 7 a.m., then mostly sunny with 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. Tonight, 62 degrees, mostly clear, 5 to 10 miles per hour. The winds will be gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Make sure you're checking for those loose branches and limbs. Water's good on the trail right now. Top off at Hawk Mountain Shelter and also top off at Slaughter Creek before you climb Blood Mountain heading north. All right, a little bit of talk about the bears going on. At Springer Mountain, of course, the shelter has been reopened. Great Smoky Mountains National Park, there's only 2 closed shelters at the moment. Peck's Corner and Siler's Bald is closed for the broken bear cables. Campsites 49, 90, 13, and 23 are closed. The warnings up in the Smokies for bears, Charlie's Bunyan, and we have 5 campsites today with warnings, 21, 86, 15, 64, and 65. So that's what's going on with the bears. Also remember, it's the time of year for snakes. You're going to sit down on a log, stump, rock, or, if you're going to pick up something, make sure you check around your area first really well. They camouflage super well, and we always want to be cautious. Remember, there's those snakes up at Cow Rock, the copperheads that are up in those boulders, and want to be cautious for that. All right, I'm going to turn this over to Donald, and we're going to talk about some other stuff going on out here today.
Sweet, thank you, my friend.
You are welcome.
All right, and so I have a few things I want to discuss today. What do we got going on with you, man? So I haven't looked at everything thoroughly. I like it to be kind of a surprise when I read it. So I'm like, oh wow, and then it's like a real response when you know what I mean,
right.
dude. And so, but I want to start with the closures that she was just talking about. I just wanted to add to that just because they're opened back up does not mean that there's not bear activity in those areas. So it's basically a 72-mile stretch through the Smokies from end to end, from Fontana to Davenport Gap. And so within that 72 miles, there are multiple bears, man, and they are going to wander. They've been there for a long time, and the offspring are taught by the older bears, man, how to maneuver through the park and to rifle through the fire pits, yada yada yada. And so, that being said, man, just because they're open does not mean that there's not bears. So be careful, guys. Keep your eyes open, eyes and ears open, man. Try to keep the earbuds out of your ears and listen out there, man. All right, next we have dog rescues I want to talk about, and they have spiked this year. People have been bringing their pets out on 14ers. For instance, on June 24th, a pair of hikers were 3 days into their trip when their pup or their dog refused to hike any further. The dog would not get up, man. And so they pressed the SOS button. The SARS team went in, five of them went in, and they took the dog out on a litter. But when they tried to see what was going on with the dog, when the dog stood up, it was clearly visible that it was exhausted, it was quivering, and the paws on the dog that looked like they were going to start to blister. And so it took 10 hours for them to get the dog out of there, man.
That's a long time.
It is. That's a long time and I'm not saying that dogs or pets are not a part of fam, because trust me, Biscuit
That's right.
is our family, and when people come work on the house he's not allowed out, and we make sure that we stand next to the doors. I will sit here guarding stuff to make sure that because people will just leave doors open and stuff. He's not allowed in certain rooms too, so because it could lead to him getting further or closer to a place to get out of our house. And even though Biscuit's been inside for 8 years and never been outside, I don't think he would go outside. But I don't want, when people are working on the house, it can scare him further, and he may go outside where we couldn't lose. We can't lose Biscuit. And so I understand this. I understand wanting to bring your dog. I understand wanting to call SOS. I understand the SARS team coming in, but also we can avoid that by a dog needs the same type of training as a person, and it takes time for them to build up calluses, same as us. And their feet aren't as tough, but they can be. We've met many dogs with thousands and thousands of miles on their feet, man, but they were, they
Raised into it.
right. Right. And so, all right. And so on June 21st, there was that incident with this dog was on June 24th. On June 21st, an 80-pound dog went down, and there was a husband and wife team hiking with their dog. The dog could not go any further, so the man decided he was going to carry the dog out to the trailhead. He got sick too, man. He had exhaustion, and both of them needed to be rescued, and SOS button was hit. So please be very careful with your dogs, man. I mean, they're going to need an equal amount of water. They're going to need the same amount of food, or, the food they need to keep going, but also at the same time, they also need to train. It's just the way it is, man. So if you have a dog that hangs out in the backyard and runs around and plays, man, for 10 minutes at a time or 20 minutes at a time, they're not going to be able to go up. It's the same idea, man. They're going to get altitude sickness. They're going to get hurt, man. They're going to be exhausted. They're going to need training. So be aware of that, please. And there's a chick named Maria Wishart, I believe, isn't that how it's Wishrt? I know that's how you spell it. I'm not sure, but she has a channel actually called Hike, Woof, and Wiggle, and she actually can explain a lot about how to get your dog ready for hiking. She hikes a lot of miles with her dog and has been doing it for years, and has a channel on it. So if anyone has questions, man, check her out. All right, and that's on Instagram. Hike Woof Wiggle, I think it is. Yes. Super cute little dog, man. And super nice chick, man. She's a really kind woman. We've taken care of her on multiple occasions, and so really good person. So check her out if you have any questions about her dogs. And so we have rescues, guys. We have some rescues, and we have to start a 53-year-old hiker who sustained a wrist injury on Snowmass Mountain was rescued Monday evening. The injury occurred after the climber had summited the mountain the previous day. So what, they're descending?
Yes.
Okay, and so 17 mountain rescue Aspen workers were involved in the rescue mission of the climber, who was located 8.3 miles from the Snowmass Creek trailhead at 10,980-foot Snowmass Lake. All personnel returned from the field by 5:30 p.m. A Mountain Rescue Aspen and Pickens County Sheriff's Office remind adventurers that carrying an emergency communication device and knowing how to use Apple satellite texting can speed up the rescue process. They encourage those asking for help to press the SOS button. That way they can locate you, man. And so what will happen a lot of times, from what I've been reading, is people that maybe see the stranded hiker will get into signal range and call, and then they're pinging off that instead of the the actual person, or the person will hit, call SOS or call the 911 or hit SOS and then move from that position. The best thing to do when you are lost, man, and you think you're lost is to sit down and stop moving. Don't go anywhere else. All right, next, in Tucson, Arizona, we had several hiker rescues in the southern Arizona in the last few days. Authorities are asking people to respect the heat and avoid getting stuck in a bad situation, guys. It is extremely hot in parts of the country, here also. And speaking of that, she actually ran into Springer Mountain yesterday.
I ran into search and rescue down there. There was the normal truck carrying out or towing out the trailer that says search and rescue. This was out of Gilmer County, and they had that. And then there was a regular. It looks like the fire truck, but it's a regular vehicle for search and rescue. And then there was a pickup truck still at the lot. There was a guy with a search and rescue shirt on. And I asked him what was going on. I asked him if there was a missing hiker or something, and he said no. He said they had contact about there being no water. He was looking towards the south direction. I don't know if somebody was hiking up from the approach trail or if they were hiking. I assume they were hiking north in the manner that he was looking, but he said everything had been resolved at that point and they were all leaving. So my assumption is whoever needed water, they were able to get water. And then taken care of. Somebody had no water.
Yeah. So some heat exhaustion. A lot of people will hike up from Amicalola not even realizing, they'll hike up with a bottle of Dasani or something in their sandals, man. Mm-hmm. And just people don't realize how rugged that part, the approach trail is. And also, they don't even know how to get water, and they come up with a 16-ounce bottle of water or something, or a liter bottle of a Smart Water bottle they bought down at the office, and they're completely unprepared, man. And it's and that is a lot of the issue. It happens all the time. We'll get people calling us from Springer, man, needing a pickup. They're like, I can't make it back, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, it's 17 miles round trip, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's hard, man. Not everyone can do it. And so, yes. And so, to go back on that, in Tucson, Arizona, a 15-month-year-old child was among 7 people rescued near the Seven Falls Sabino Canyon Sunday. Crews responded to a hiker suffering from heat-related injuries around 2 p.m. 5 of the hikers were airlifted with help from Arizona DPS, including the 15-month-old. All were transported to a local hospital. Monday, there were 2 different hiker rescues in the same area, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Philip Stevens, a volunteer rescue worker, stressed the importance of being smart when you hike. Let's go like this. Number 1, here's a few examples. Number 1, plan your hike. Hike your plan. Make sure someone knows your plan. Hike with someone if possible. Pima County Search and Rescue reminds the public to take extra precautions in this extreme heat. Carry sufficient water, wear protective clothing, avoid strenuous activity during peak heat, and bring like a tarp with you, man. They have tarps out there. They're literally less than a pound, like 6 ounces, man. You stuff in your pack, man, and if it gets too hot, at least you can cover yourself over if you have to stop. And bring water, man. Bring water. You gotta bring water. All right. So, let's move on here. Officials announced Sunday they have concluded the initial search phase for the missing Southern California hiker Monica Riza, who was last seen June 22nd. The investigation will continue by their Homicide Bureau Missing Persons Unit. Did you read further on that? What's going on with homicide?
Homicide, but they've exhausted, I guess, the regular search and rescue, and now it's going to be a long-term investigation, and their Homicide Bureau is in charge of it.
Okay, interesting. That's weird that they're bringing homicide in. I find that strange, but I don't know how they handle things like that. But All right, and so well, let's move on to Utah County, Utah. An 82-year-old woman hiking with a group on the popular Stewart Falls Trail died after she collapsed Tuesday. Immediately, she was given life-saving measures by the group until emergency crews arrived and continued, but she was pronounced dead on the trail. No further information. A hiker was killed on Tuesday, July 1st in the Conkles Hollow State Nature Preserve in Hocking Hills when a tree fell on them on the Lower Rim Trail. No further information. So, I was reading an article by Gear Junkie this morning, and it was a woman that has possibly through hiked, I'm not sure, but it's seemed that way. And so she was telling the best parts on the trails to hike, and she was talking about, like 10-mile hikes going up into the Smokies to Molly's Ridge, or going to Franconia, not and the 100-mile wilderness, and not one piece of that warned anyone about what gear you may need and how strenuous these hikes were and where they actually are and where you're going to be when you get up there. There's no Uber, there's no coolers full of water, there's no daisies on the side of a tarred path running through the forest. Man, there's no way out. Once you get up in there, that's it. You need the gear. You need to know what you're getting into. You need to have the proper equipment just in case, man, or to actually do these hikes. And once again, these hikes are influencers, just people that want to be heard, that write in the Trek, or write in these blog places or wherever, man. They just want to be seen and heard, and once again, they're not giving out the information that's actually needed for someone to actually plan for the hike, or to be successful, or on their hike or their journey, or to meet their goal. And I just don't know how. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I feel like that it needs to be said more, and the word needs to be spread that the rescues are spiking because there's so much information, or so many people. They want to come out. They're new hikers, man. They just don't know, and they're listening to these people that act like they're experts, and it's the blind leading the blind. It's absolutely about. I don't know how to explain it. It's like people don't want to see like solid stuff. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but people want to listen to just the fun stuff. They don't want to hear about the how hard it is, and what it takes mentally and physically to actually to get to meet the goals, like 10 miles. Man, no one comes out here and just does 10 miles. We see it all the time. People make these. They're like, oh, it's the first time I've hiked. And, years ago, I used to say something. Today, I don't really say much because they're not going to listen. They've already been online listening to all these people telling them 50 million different ways to do something. Some people will listen, but you have those hard-headed people that just almost want to control the entire conversation. But, when you say something to them, hey, man, like, 10 miles a day is a lot, dude. You're trying to do, or someone that's trying to do Georgia in 4 days and wants to meet at mile 85, and they want to start at Amicalola. So they're doing 95 miles in, 4-day period. People will literally plan this stuff. And I'm just like, man, that's kind of aggressive, dude. Have you ever been hiking? And, they've already, no. Well, dude, that's like 20 something miles a day, man. I mean, there are people that we've brought out here that are fitness people and trainers and karate, black belts, whatever, MMA fighters, marathon runners. I don't care, man. But, man, and they go down in 6 miles, dude. You know what I mean, man? 20-mile days is huge. It takes a minute to work up to that. It takes some people to work up to 10 miles. It might take them all the way through Georgia before they can start doing 10 miles consecutively without being, yeah, you may be able to do 120-mile day, man, or maybe even two. But on that third day, you're going to feel it, man. And most people actually end their hikes.
I want to say something. What Donald's talking about, I had a very real experience yesterday. There's a hiker we've been assisting out here since the airport, and they are an older hiker, and they are a very new hiker, and they're discouraged. I could tell in the conversation I was having with them. They've been on the trail for a couple of days. I brought them up to Springer from the lodge, I think it was on Saturday, and picked them up at Cooper Gap and brought them to a town yesterday. And they're disappointed. I can tell they're disappointed, the conversation and the things they were saying. They were very discouraged that they had only done 6 miles the day before, and it took them all day to do it. Yeah. And I'm trying to be encouraging because, like Donald was just saying, you know what? That's a good start.
It is,
It's
man.
nothing to be discouraged about. And they also told me, I don't remember what part of the trail they were on, but they were encountering 2 other hikers, and they were saying how all these other hikers seemed to just be zipping by, and they had been hoping to do, bigger miles when they first started out. And 2 of the hikers that went by actually asked them where they were going, and they told them, and they're like, well, you're not going to get there till midnight at this pace. Yeah. I mean, let's be encouraging. Let's not say something like this, because this person was already discouraged and hoping to do higher miles, and we were having conversation, and they're not quite sure if they're getting back down here or if they're going to go further up the trail in hopes of finding an easier place to hike. And they're discouraged, and we need to encourage each other, and we all need to realize that when we first get going, let's enjoy our time out here. Let's take the time, because you will build that strength up, especially when you're out here for the long distance like this person is. So it just takes time and patience and encouragement.
It does,
and let's be kind to ourselves. I mean, any step that we take out there is better than what we've done before.
That's right. Dude.
So each day we do get stronger. And I'm speaking from personal experience, because I know what I was like when I first got on the trail. And when I stepped off the trail, I know what I was like, and I never would have thought I could have gotten there, but I did. And anybody can do it.
That's right.
So, that's just adding in a very, very personal experience I had just yesterday in regards to this.
Yeah, definitely. And I hope he doesn't get off trail because of, not being able to do a few.
Right.
I've seen people do that to people, man, and it's disappointing to watch. We should be encouraging each other and lifting each other up, man, not stepping on people, man, and crushing their dreams, man, and their spirit. We want to help them build their spirit, man, build their character, build build muscle and to move forward, man, build a self-esteem, man. Encourage them to be better and do better and push harder, and it takes time to learn how to push yourself to do better, or not do better, but to push more miles. And so definitely no one's coming out here and busting 20s. It just doesn't happen. I mean, some younger kids maybe, dude, but they'll hurt themselves eventually. We watch it all the time. They'll come out and just be really aggressive and pull an ace or rip a muscle or an ACL or whatever, man, tendons, whatever, dude. They end up hurting themselves or slipping and falling and breaking something, man. It happens all the time. So just go at your own pace, and eventually you'll be able to make, those 15-mile days or whatever. And who cares if you can't? Just enjoy yourself, man. It's about the journey, man. It's never about the destination, ever. It should only be about the journey. And so don't have tunnel vision. Have a wider view, man. Enjoy yourself out here. All right. And so I forgot what I was on.
I think it was a matter of just not getting hurt and pushing miles.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. The influencer and the 100-mile wilderness and stuff, man. And, it's like the Maine woods, man. I grew up there. And it's not just call someone. You're in the middle of nowhere. And I really feel like a lot of these cats now today that are blogging and stuff and building these TikTok videos and yada yada yada, man, they're really all these rescues that I'm reading all the time, man. It's just one thing after another. Who brings a 15-month-year-old baby out into the desert
was
or
my
into
question
who
next.
does that? You know what I mean, dude? Someone that doesn't know. You know, because no one's telling them, hey, dude, don't bring your baby. It's almost like you have to tell people now today, like, don't do this. It's the same with the LNT and the Bears right now, you know? I'm going to go back, I'm going to beat this dead horse to the lady that said that there was a crackhead at Neil Gap walking up in the woods and stole her kid's backpack. This woman insisted on that. And there's 10 bear between Low Gap and Blue Mountain Shelter that were spotted between two different groups. These bears are working that area because the people that are walking up through here, man, at the beginning of the year, are not hanging their bags correctly. They're not caring about that stuff. And you know, Heather Crane actually made a good point yesterday. People are spitting their toothpaste out in the all around the camping areas and stuff, man. And there's globs of toothpaste spit. That's attracting all those odors, man. Are attracting the bear, man. Spit in a bag, man, and or bury it. You have to do it. You have to take the time and do this, guys, because if we don't, we're not going to have a place to hike that's safe anymore. We're going to have to carry pieces on us to keep us safe, man. Or you know, I don't even want to camp out along the trail here during the summer anymore, man. I don't even want to do anything over here because the bear is so bad. And all the bags that are ending up missing, those aren't crackheads, man. Those are bears snatching those backpacks and food items. And the biggest part that got me about that story was the kid actually said someone left food on the ground. That was the biggest kicker of the whole story, man. It's like, you left food on the ground. Why would you ever do that, man? Because people don't know. Because too many people don't want to listen, man, and hear what's really going on out here, man. And when someone does, you know, you get kind of like, you know, cornered and put down like you're an idiot, man. And so I don't go in those rooms anymore, really. You can't say
It's not
anything in
worth
there
it.
anymore. Nah, there's too many armchair hikers in there today. I mean, there are people, man, that I don't even think they're really hikers, man. They're just in there blasting off
They're
information.
probably just trying to start fights. They probably enjoy it.
I'm not sure what it is, man. There's just a lot of people that don't that are in those rooms, man. There's a lot of people that are good people and they really love, you know, the trail, and they want to make it a better place and help keep it a better place or a good place for everyone to go to. But then there are those people that just don't care. They just don't care, man. And it's unfortunate and it disappoints me huge. Like, it really does. It hurts my feelings, man. And people might say I wear my heart, which I've been told this by an employee that I fired, but I wear my heart on my sleeve.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
But I love this place, man, and I love the hikers here, man, and that's why I do what I do every single day and get up and try to do my best to inform people on what's going on out here. I'm not an influencer. I'm not an influencer. I'm not an expert. I'm not any of that. I don't make these videos to get brownie points, man. I do this because I love this trail and I want people to experience what Mary and I experienced out here. This place saved my life, and I can't speak for her, but it saved hers also because it saved mine. And she also, I'm not going to speak for her. She can tell her own story, but I'm going to say that it saved my life. And we've been together for 13 plus years now or something. So, you know, of course, my life reflects on hers. So, but what I'm trying to say, man, is I make these videos to help people, help them understand what's really going on out here, and you know how to have the best hike, man, and the best experience.
That's right.
That's all I want. I just want people to have the best experience. Our business runs no matter what. I don't need you know, we don't need to
No, we don't.
We don't need to
They're all
like.
out there.
This isn't to gain, brownie points. This is because we love you guys, man, and we love this trail. So please, let's do our best to spread good vibes, man, and try to inform people and spread the word, man. We got to do better. We got to follow Leave No Trace. It's so important right now. It's so important. And so, that all being said, guys, we got to get moving, man, and get things going. More to come later, guys. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I do not.
All right. One love, kids. Be beautiful. Peace. Thank you.